Feldman. From Austin Powers, Mindy Sterling. House of Style host Molly Sims. And political commentator Dr. Monica Crowley.
I appreciate it. Wow, thank you. You've been drinking. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate the drinking. Anyway, listen, I got to say tonight, my hat is off to our president. People hate Bill Clinton, but this guy, let me tell you something, has been staying up every night around the clock. He's not had sleep in like 3 or 4 nights because of this Middle East peace thing. You know, he's over there. He's just staying up every night trying to get a peace. And, no, I'm serious. I tell you, people don't give this guy the credit he deserves. He's been staying up with Barack and Arafat. In fact, at 4 a.m. Yesterday in the morning, they called George Bush trying to score some blow. So, I mean, they have been... Wow. I know. The Middle East is the toughest thing. Neither side ever gets everything they really want in the peace agreement. Clinton tried to get Israel to recognize the Palestinian right to exist and the Palestinians to get the Israeli right to exist recognized. And at the end of the day, he said he'd want both parties just to try to get our discos back away from the Iranians. That's what really it came down to. And not only that, he's got a big summit ahead of him, the president does. In Japan, he's gone there to meet with the G8 people, whoever they are. No, the big countries in the world, in Japan, walking into a nest of controversy over there. You know, the other day in Japan, the guys who had that poison gas attack in the subway a couple of years ago, they were sentenced to death by hanging in Japan, which is very rare in Japan, death by hanging. In fact, it's very rare in Japan to find any man who's hung. That's a very... I kid the other countries. As a matter of fact, Italy, big news in Italy, the Colosseum today reopened after 1,500 years. That's a long wait. But it has not been around for entertainment for 1,500 years. That's a long time. And, of course, back then, you know, the old days, people used to, you know, do horrible things in the Colosseum. They would fight, everyone would watch, and then someone's fate was decided by the old thumbs up or thumbs down. Thank God we don't have that anymore, except for a couple of shows on CBS. All right, well, let's meet our panel. Thank you. She is a Nixon biographer and political commentator for Fox News, Dr. Monica Crowley. Doctor, where are you? Were you a doctor the last time?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
was.
Oh, you were? You're a good-looking doctor. She's the beautiful and charming host of MTV's House of Style, Molly Sims, ladies and gentlemen. There you are. You don't need to be a doctor. Her TV movie, Manhattan AZ, is on USA this Sunday, and her upcoming movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, opens this fall from Austin Powers. Mindy Sterling. Mindy. Hey, you. Pleasure to meet you, too. And he is the talented star of The Lost Boys, Goonies, and a whole bunch of meatball movies. Corey Feldman has come over here. Corey, how are you, sir? Okay. Well, I'm glad we have 3 good-looking girls here tonight.
Me too.
Not that I need a reason for that, but
Backstage we were calling them Corey's Angels.
Corey's Angels.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought we'd all come out posing, you know. Oh well. No
Wish
posing.
again, boy.
Yeah. I try.
I'm saying this because there was a big story today that. Actually, it was yesterday, okay. The male pill is now going to be available to us. In Scotland, they have done tests that were 100% successful. They say it's another 5 years to figure out how to get it into your penis. I'm kidding. But they have a male, but apparently they really have a male pill now, a male birth control pill. And I think this is going to change the balance of sexuality in this country, because for a long time women have been able to, you know, accidentally get pregnant.
Oh,
right. Who me?
It's the truth.
This is the problem women with women.
I do think women like control.
What's that?
I do think women like control.
Of course they do.
I
Well,
think
everybody.
you like No, some women do. You're right.
But some women, you know, I think everybody likes control. I mean, nobody doesn't like control.
That's not true. Libras don't like control.
Yeah, take the pill.
Right.
This
I don't like control. I like to be tied up, whipped, you know, whatever.
This male birth control pill is the biggest joke going because I do not know a single woman who would rely on a man to remember to take a pill every day. I mean, men can't even remember to bring them milk home.
I agree, and also, I mean, look at sexually transmitted diseases. I mean, in a perfect monogamous relationship, the pill would be great for a man or a woman, but, you know, it's like, what about if someone's dating?
Good point. Men and women condom.
I have a very simple solution to this, which is, okay, number one, I don't think that the pill is a good thing, and for both of the reasons that were just brought up.
The male pill and the female pill?
Well, the female pill is the female pill. We're all used to it, you know. But the male pill, because, and my reasoning for this is that every single person is going to go, oh, wow, now we don't have to use contraceptives, just like you said. Now we've got a formula, we've got something that works for us. Well, yeah, it's going to stop people getting pregnant, possibly, but it's not going to do anything about diseases. It's not going to protect us against HIV. It's not going to protect us against chlamydia or gonorrhea or any of the potentially damaging.
God, you've had a rough week.
But you know what? The female pill
true.
doesn't protect against those things either.
Well, I think it's one step.
The
female pill
doesn't
protect.
No, of course not.
But I think it's one step towards try to find a way to make a man a little more responsible because the woman is being shared. I mean, I wouldn't trust him either.
Here's the deal. I didn't finish my point. There is something being formulated right now. There is a chemical out there that's being tested, and I believe it's just been released on the market. I believe it's available at the Hustler and Hollywood store. No, it's not. I gave that stuff up many years ago. No, this stuff is a chemical. Hey.
I swear he's not high.
He's into the powder cocaine. I'm just kidding.
We don't want to talk about the Playboy Mansion.
Yes, we do.
What is this chemical
Anyway,
that you know about?
It's called vaginal macrobides.
What happened?
This is real stuff.
What did you say on my show? Vaginal what?
Microbides.
Microbites?
Microbides.
Okay. Microbiome for the
Essentially
vagina?
what it is a chemical, okay, that has been created. It's been developed by the Institute of Human Sexual Research, okay. It has been passed on to facilities which test people for AIDS. Okay, that's how it all started.
And what does this do for us?
Essentially what it is a gel, which is a chemical, which is placed inside the woman, which builds itself a chemical barrier around the inside walls and protects against everything. Essentially it's like...
Okay, my next question is how is that you, Corey Feldman, of all people on earth, know this?
And the only one.
Well,
I mean,
let's just say...
if aliens came down and had this, or scientists, of all the people, would they tell you? I'm going to tell you. Corey Feldman, bring me Corey Feldman to divulge this.
I've done a lot of personal research.
I understand you also have the Los Alamos tapes in your pocket.
No, but I know who shot JFK.
Okay.
I've got the evidence.
But, you know, again, we're talking about a female form of birth control. What Bill was bringing up was this idea of male birth control.
Well, this is actually both sides. This neutralizes
men
both
and women
sides.
can talk a good game about, well, we should all be equally responsible about birth control, but the bottom line is women are the ones who get pregnant. So the ultimate responsibility rests with us. And I don't know a single woman who would trust a man to take this kind of birth control.
They would trust them, or that they want to, you know, lose that control.
Or rely on.
I want to see a man bloated.
I want you to go through
I think you deserve to go realize.
Yeah, that seems important. That's
I mean, would you take the pill, Bill?
Well, it always comes back here to this chair, doesn't it?
But you know what?
Would I take the pill?
If you knew that it was, you know...
Yes, I think I would take that
and you would
pill.
remember?
That's interesting.
Yes, you know what? What you said before is so insulting. And by the way, talking about double standards, which I guess we are, if it was reversed, if a man on this show said, a woman could not even be held, you know, a woman in no way could remember, people would boo. But you say that about a man and they cheer.
Remember to bring them milk home.
But you said that as if
after
we are...
work. I mean, you know, I would never. Women, I don't think, would rely on a man to take this kind of pill.
We're human.
She's the one who's going to get pregnant.
You do not have any monopoly on remembering.
I think it's great that men could have a birth control pill, but I would never rely.
You know what? Is this a
on my partner to take one?
Reasonable opinion. That's what I want to know. Is
you know, before sex, are you going to say, honey, did you remember to take the pill today? Did you remember to take it yesterday?
Why would you have to do that? Why can't the man just be responsible himself for doing what he's got to do?
Because the woman is the one that's going to get pregnant.
Right.
Okay, I got to take a break because that's my responsibility and I'm remembering it. We're talking about this new development, the male birth control pill. I want to talk about paternity a little bit. I want to make 2 points. First is, you know, when I said that women accidentally get pregnant, you all groaned. You're not seriously telling me that this doesn't happen all the time.
Absolutely.
Okay,
it does happen, but not everybody does it.
Not everybody
Did I say everybody did it?
But I mean, I know girls who get pregnant just to stay on welfare, so they can have more kids and they keep getting...
those girls?
Do you have their numbers?
Yeah.
Because, you know, no.
We're single guys.
Yeah, no.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
But it could work the other way, too, the male birth control pill. If a man really wants to have a child and a woman doesn't, he could accidentally go off the pill.
How many times does a guy want to have a child and a woman doesn't?
Exactly.
When would this happen?
What would the incentive be?
Yeah, honey, please, could we have a third?
Could you calm me down? Because I was really hoping not to do anything with the next 15 years.
But I'm just making the point. Whenever you say anything that in any way encroaches on the woman's sainthood, there is an immediate groan until you examine the issue.
It can work both ways.
Okay. Now here's the other one. A man's right to choose. I read this op-ed piece a couple of weeks ago by Thomas Lynch, and he is making a very good point. He is saying that he has sons and daughters, and his daughters have the right, he said, to decide what happens if they get pregnant. The sons don't. He said, if the choice as to when one is ready, willing, and able to be a parent is a good thing, wouldn't it be a good thing for my sons as well as my daughters? Why oughtn't my sons have an equivalent choice, say within the first 2 trimesters, to declare their decision not to parent?
In other words,
that's shut up.
That's a good question.
Lock, stock.
But it brings up a very interesting issue as to whether a man has a right to say that this pregnancy should be terminated or whether the pregnancy should go to full term and that they should be parents. Because after all, it takes 2 to tango.
You can't make the decision anyway.
A baby is the result of 2 cells meeting, right? One from the man, one from the woman.
Yes, but that's the point. 2 cells meet. Up to that point, they're equal. After that, the woman has all the say.
Because the cells meet in the woman's body. So ultimately, the bottom line is that it is her decision whether or not.
But she carries the baby for 9 months. Then there's an 18-year period
where the father keeps paying.
Well, good point.
It's a good point.
So you're on our side with this one?
I mean, I agree that the father should have a say-so in what happens. I mean, especially if he's going to pay for the child and raise it, whether he raises it or he pays to raise it. I think it would be a beautiful thing if we achieved equality in that area. And I think a man should have that advantage. I mean, that.
Well, I think that the next development should be, rather than male birth control pill, male pregnancy.
See, that's where you're going to go with it.
First of all, you're talking about, you know, rubbish. I mean, that could never happen. It's not a possibility.
Okay, we'll get pregnant and you start paying for dinner. How about that?
By the way, I got to get my hair done and my nails.
Yeah, and I need a couple of extra pair of shoes I don't really need.
Men are not better than women.
No, I mean, in an ideal world, obviously, if there's a pregnancy, both people should sit down and have rational, thoughtful discussion about the future of the baby.
Yeah, should.
Okay, that's euphoria.
And that will never happen.
No, I said in an ideal world.
And that will never happen. But
if shoulds and buts were beer and nuts, we'd have a hell of a party. But in the real world, that doesn't happen. And, you know...
But why wouldn't a man, if he partakes in this, not want to help, even though, okay, I didn't want this child, but, you know...
But it's still my son or daughter.
It's still, bottom line, she's keeping it, and I want to be a responsible individual. and help raise this child.
Morally, you should. I mean, that's correct by all terms, okay? But at the same time, you shouldn't have to be forced into that position.
Well, I mean, you're saying
but
that
if you're having sex, then the logical extension of having sex may be
wait a second, but the woman has the right to terminate. The woman has the right to say, you know what, I'm not ready to be a parent. I'm not going to be a good parent, so I'm going to terminate. And you're saying, but every man on the planet should just have to suck it up and go, okay, I'm there.
I think the man should have the right to decide just as much as the woman should. I mean, I do.
All right, we settled that one. We'll take a commercial and get on to the next issue.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be Mad TV's Alex Borstein, actor Chad Everett, and from the Congress of Racial Equality, Niger Innes.
All right, since we just established that men and women think each other crazy, let me introduce this. A couple of months ago, the Surgeon General released a report that said about 1 in 5 Americans was suffering from a mental disorder, which I think is nuts. Okay. Now a new study says they've upped this. A third, 1 out of 3 of Americans say they once felt on the verge of a nervous breakdown or had a mental disorder. I think this is an increase in whining and not an actual increase in mental disorders.
You think it's an increase in whining?
Yes.
No way.
No way. I mean, look at the stress levels of every American. I mean,
stress is not a mental disorder. It's part of life.
are you crazy? Stress leads to so many different things.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, no, I'm not crazy, and neither are you, or most people
now that
here.
Americans live to make money, it's all about...
There's two sides of the coin. There's two sides of the coin. First of all, there is the, everybody trying to be dramatic theory. But then the other side of it is you can look at it this way. You can go, well, maybe we've come to a time where people are more healthy and they're able to express their emotions and are able to express their true feelings better than they were before.
Well, everybody's on television, talk to me, and psychologists and radio.
Right.
So, it's more open, so people are starting to tap into, gosh, yes.
The pace of life is so much faster, demands on us are so much greater, expectations are so much higher.
Go for it.
That leads to frustration, disappointment, rage,
I mean, like, my God.
stress.
And leads to so many different things.
You see the manifestations of this everywhere in road rage, air rage,
Air rage, road rage.
Okay, but you look at those terms, and just those terms provoke drama.
Stress leads to these things.
I've got road rage. Drive the car, get from point A to point B. If you get in an accident, oh well.
Wait a minute.
It happens.
A couple of weeks ago.
Family of 4. I mean,
What do you mean the average family?
it's like just putting food on the table, daycare, job problems.
We all have to do that. We all have to go through that on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, some guy beat to death the father of one of his son's hockey team on the kids hockey team. And I mean, what is that? That's parents freaking out. They're losing it. People are losing it across the board.
And that's all from stress.
Is that going crazy? Is that having a
to kill somebody? That's just crazy.
No. I'm saying the parents going through it.
But you're all leaving out the important fact that the stress is caused by their selfish pursuits.
Exactly.
No, I know. That's true. I mean, absolutely. But I don't think all stress is from
The point is,
selfless
we can
pursuit.
build ourselves up.
We can from external sources too. That you got to keep up with the Joneses. You have to have
Keep
this
up
job.
with the Joneses is a selfish pursuit.
A lot of it is external pressure.
I mean,
Hold on. If everybody wasn't so self-obsessed, and
you.
we were worrying about all the things in the world that make life flow,
You go, girl.
we wouldn't be so concerned. Is that going crazy, or is that being selfish?
Life is
and self-obsessed?
a little crazy. I think that you start to snap.
you do, absolutely.
You know what?
But it's your own fault.
But guess what? I've been on the brink.
Yeah, but maybe
I've had hard times in my life, but guess what? I pulled through it.
Well, you were lucky. Good for you.
No.
But not everybody
I
is.
wasn't lucky. I worked hard and I kicked some ass. That's it. That's it.
But not everybody is as fortunate. I mean, like you said, it's more open.
Not everyone's privy to those government findings that you...
See? If you found that, you wouldn't have a nervous breakdown either. Right?
We don't all have that vaginal mayonnaise that you know about. Whatever that is. All right, I got to take a The women were all sympathetic to the mental issue, and we were more like, no, you're just whining. Is there something to that?
Pretty much, for the most part. I mean, I would say there's a small part of me which says, maybe we've made some healthy recovery, and we're a little bit more open to, whatever.
Right. But that's a small part.
Right. But for the most part...
Maybe it's the men making us mental.
Thank you.
Oh, please!
Exactly.
That is really over the top.
Tomorrow, Alex Force, Chad Everett, Nigel Rennis. Thank you, folks.